Planeswalkers did not simply flit from plane to plane like travelers. We owned the worlds and everything in them, the creatures and the cities and the land itself. The pathetic creatures that named themselves gods were as nothing beside us. Nicol Bolas, from The Gathering Storm. The world of Dominaria dominated Magic the Gathering's story for much of its early existence. Many pivotal moments transpired on this world, and many important characters hail from here as well. Dominaria is important not only as the primary setting for many early Magic tales, but in-universe functioned as the nexus of the multiverse, the very cornerstone of all reality. As the nexus, Dominaria's fate was tied intrinsically to the fate of all other worlds. To it flowed mana from perhaps all other planes, and from it flowed the balance the multiverse needed to continue existing. But this balance was tested time and time again. Over the course of Dominaria's history, many cataclysmic events transpired. More than just natural disasters or great wars, these were events so shattering that the very world was injured in the process. While the plane could heal itself using an influx of mana from other worlds over eons, the number and frequency of these cataclysms proved too great, and it put strain on the very fabric of reality across Dominaria. Many of these cataclysms were the work of planeswalkers or powerful magic, causing rifts to appear in the world. The earliest known rift, dating roughly 20,000 years before the current story, was caused by the earliest known duel between planeswalkers. The combatants were Nicol Bolas and an unnamed demonic leviathan. This battle destroyed and reshaped much of Dominaria's landscape, and the rift caused by it would manifest above the Talon Gates, an eternal reminder of the conflict. Urza would cause two major rifts to manifest during his lifetime. The first was caused by the Silex Blast. This caused the destruction of most of Argoth and slowly led Dominaria into an ice age, as well as creating the Shard of 12 Worlds. The second rift was the end result of Urza's time travel experiments and his Talarian Academy. This second rift would be made irreparable by Baron's obliteration of the island during the Phyrexian invasion. Teferi would cause two rifts to form when he used his powerful time magic to phase out the nation of Zalfir, as well as parts of Shiv at the beginning of the Phyrexian invasion. The Rothi overlay near the beginning of the invasion also caused a rift to manifest over the land of Urborg. A fourth rift caused by the Phyrexian invasion was the one over Skyshroud Forest, which the planeswalker Freyalise moved in order to save it from the effects of the Rothi overlay. Finally, when Corona, the amalgamation of Zagorka, Phage, and Akroma was formed, she became the physical manifestation of all of Dominaria's mana. With her destruction, a final rift was formed, and the temporal crisis of Dominaria began. The accumulated rifts over thousands of years proved too much for the world to handle, and their effects began to run rampant across the plane. The rifts began siphoning the mana away from Dominaria, hindering the world's ability to mend itself. In addition, the rifts interacted with the very concept of time itself, allowing individuals from the past, alternate present, and possible future to manifest on Dominaria. This damage was not limited exclusively to Dominaria. The effects of the rifts over the eons spread far into the multiverse. affecting other planes such as Ravnica and Kamigawa. The effects of the rifts outlined the fact that, if they were not repaired, Dominaria could be torn asunder, and with Dominaria as the mana cornerstone of the multiverse, its destruction would erase all other planes as well. The Planeswalker Teferi, as well as Joyra, were the first to become aware of the dangerous effects the rifts were having upon the world, and they sought to repair the damage. They would be joined by many others, including Radha, Freyalise, and even a revived Nicol Bolas to close the rifts. Teferi would sacrifice his spark to close the Shivan Rift, losing his godlike planeswalking powers in the process. Freyalise would give up her own life to close the rift above Skyshroud, destroying the forest, but repairing the damage. Lord Windgrace would also sacrifice his life in this way, infusing his soul into the land of Urborg and closing the rift there. The Nightwalker, Leshrac, would attempt to take this opportunity to gain even more power. As he became aware of the conflict, Leshrac was approached by the Myojin of Night's Reach, who sought his aid in vanquishing Nicol Bolas. Leshrac would receive her mask, a powerful artifact. In addition, he took control of and manipulated Jeska, who in turn would use Radha to close the rifts of Zalfir and Yavimaya. As Jeska was once Phage, she still possessed the ability to destroy all organic matter with a touch. Leshrac took that ability from her, using the Mask of Night's Reach, intending to use it against the dragon. The rift above Talaria was beyond repair in the present, but Karn would travel back into the past to the very moment Barin obliterated the Isle. Karn was able to close the rift in the past by sacrificing his spark, but noticed then that he had been infected by Phyrexian oil. He planeswalked away immediately upon his return to the present, before his ability to do so was lost, and urged his friends to not search for him. It was then that Leshrac made his move. He entered in a duel against Nicol Bolas, using the Mask of Night's Reach he acquired to steal away Bolas's power to disrupt the mind with a touch. The two battled, and when Leshrac damaged Nicol Bolas using the power he stole from Jeska, the dragon's body began to rot, and he fled across the multiverse, with the Nightwalker following. The chase led back to the very beach where Leshrac first acquired the Mask of Night's Reach, where Bolas revealed that what Leshrac chased was an illusion, and Nicol Bolas held the original, superior mask. He explained that he already took it as a trophy from Night's Reach before she fled, and that the mask Leshrac possessed was an inferior copy. Before the Nightwalker could escape, Nicol Bolas pulled him into the mask and sacrificed him to seal the Madarin Rift. Nicol Bolas would then depart from Dominaria, setting into motion a plan that would evolve over the course of the next 60 years. The final rift, the Atarian Rift, would be sealed by Jeska, who, alongside Venser and Radha, would teleport into the heart of the fissure and do battle against a manifestation of Corona herself. With Venser and Radha's aid, Jeska would defeat the illusion and spread her essence over the entirety of the rift, sacrificing herself to put an end to the crisis. With all of the rifts closed, the Great Mending could truly begin. Dominaria's damage was great, but the closing of the rifts allowed mana to flow properly into the world again, allowing the damage to heal. However, much like a broken leg is never quite the same, the damage to Dominaria and the multiverse was not simply forgotten. The beginning of the Mending saw Dominaria no longer the nexus of the multiverse. Creatures manifested on the world from other times would swiftly fade back to their origins. Damage that echoed away from it was mended as well, as on Ravnica the Ghost Quarter, itself a wound on the world, was repaired and truly separated, and on Kaladesh, a great aether boom would take place. The full extent of the Mending's effects across the multiverse may never be fully known. With the nature of the multiverse shifting, the means to traverse it began to shift as well. After the Mending occurred, all existing interplanar travel technology would cease to function as intended. No longer would the Phyrexian portals function, and no longer could the skyship Weatherlight sail the cosmos. While new interplanar tech could be created, as Rashmi had done so on Kaladesh, it seemed that moving organic matter between the worlds became a difficult, if not impossible, task. The greatest change, however, was the one imposed on each and every planeswalker across the multiverse. Before the Mending, planeswalkers were effectively gods. Their power was limited almost exclusively by their knowledge of spells and their will to use them. Planeswalkers could create, influence, or destroy entire worlds with ease before, and their immortality and shape-shifting powers were second nature. After the Mending, however, these godlike beings were reduced. No longer did the spark provide them with near-infinite mana or immortality. Instead, the ignition of a planeswalker's spark simply gave them the ability to travel between worlds, all other abilities being their own. Most walkers across the multiverse would accept this change, but one dragon would not rest, and would leave no world unburned until he was restored to his former glory. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to my channel. If you follow me on social media, you'll get an early idea of what videos I'm working on. If you have suggestions for future lore episodes, or just want to comment on this one, feel free to let me know below. Thanks again, and have a good day.